Welcome to my Rotary Show, doing good and having fun. I'm Jamie Mick, past District Governor of District 6950, and I'm your host today. Today we're going to go through kind of a different array of different subjects on Rotary, one of which will include District 6950's University that was held this past Saturday. But first I wanted to talk about polio and the polio program that we have here at Rotary that has been our 35 years that we've been fighting polio. Now, we're going to have the 4th National Polio Day, World Polio Day as they call it, here in the United States and worldwide. And they actually, Rotary has created for you an actual whole program on how your club can get involved. But first I thought it would be important to see some of the PSAs that are out there. In particular, this first one is from Bill Gates, from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, thanking Rotary. Let's roll that. James is getting that ready for us to see.
Rotary
I think it's important.
On the 30th anniversary of the Polio Plus program. Thanks to Rotarians' vision in 1985 of a polio-free world and your unwavering commitment and determination, we've made incredible progress. The world has never been in a better position to eradicate polio. 2 of the 3 strains of wild polio are now likely eliminated. India was certified polio-free. And Nigeria and the whole continent of Africa are closer than ever before to becoming polio-free. This progress is due to a tremendous global effort of partners, country governments, and Rotarians around the world. The Gates Foundation is committed to the goal of polio eradication, and we are proud of our amazing partnership with Rotary. As we near the finish line, the work is harder than ever, and Rotary's support is more important than ever. You are vital advocates for polio eradication. Thank you for 3 decades of support for fighting polio and for your ongoing commitment to ensure that no child ever again suffers from this crippling disease. Polio eradication will be a gift for generations to come.
Now, someone asked me if Bill Gates was actually a Rotarian. Unfortunately, he's not. His father is a member of the Seattle Washington Club, and that's how Bill and Melinda got involved in actually witnessing the magic of Rotary. Now, you would think that it would be limited just to Bill and Melinda Gates, but it's not. There are several celebrities that we watch on different movies and on television that are also involved in being ambassadors for polio and making sure that everyone is aware that this is an actual disease that is still prevalent in many countries: Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Nigeria. Now, I want to show you 2 clips. One are 2 familiar movie stars that you'll see, and they're actually polio ambassadors and participated in last year's World Polio Day.
Visit endpolio.org to watch End Polio Now, Make History Today, a special live stream event hosted by Rotary, an organization committed to ending polio forever. You will learn why polio still threatens the world's children and how we can end this disease once and for all.
Welcome to World Polio Day. I'm John Cena, WWE superstar and 15-time World Heavyweight Champion. I'm proud to be a polio ambassador and join all the Rotary members who helped immunize over 2.5 billion children. They are the true champions. The world has fought against this lethal opponent for 30 years, and now we're this close to ending polio. It's time to end this once and for all, and with your help, soon the world will be polio-free. We're winning this battle, but we can't stop fighting. After 30 years, it's time to make history and win this fight, once and for all.
Now, you're going to ask me where I found these videos. All 3 of them were found on Rotary.org in the Branding Center and go under videos. They would be great videos for you to use if your club's going to actually have a World Polio event, or if you'd like to show them the week of the World Polio event, which is October 24th. So that week would be a great time for your club to see some of these clips and actually be able to hear directly from what I would call celebrities that we might see in People magazine that are here joining us in Rotary in the fight to end polio. Now, Rotary.org has a World Polio website for you. It's called www.endpolio.org/World Polio Day. On there, you're going to find a couple really cool things. One of them is an actual toolkit. And this toolkit has in it how to celebrate World Polio Day. And I think there's even a planning guide in it. James, I think we have a picture of the front of that planning guide. And these are actually some photographs that you can use and are already templated for you to use in social media. And they have both Facebook and Twitter pictures, and we can kind of roll through those. These would be great to use on your club's page to be able to actually celebrate polio at the end of polio. And you can see it talks about 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. You go on the website, you can actually sign up and log on and be part of the actual event. And they'll actually have some of it will occur on social media with John Germ and Jennifer Jones, and then some also with the trustees of the foundation as well. They also have actual posting samples for you to use. So I think we have a couple pictures. These are the Twitter ones. So they've actually formatted it for you. You don't have to think. And these are the Facebook ones. You don't have to think about it. Just use one of theirs. Make sure that your club's Facebook page is connected to Rotary International's page, as well as the Rotary Foundation and End Polio Now. All three of them have Facebook pages. So leading up to this event, you're actually going to be able to get those news feeds on your club's page. But it's very important that your club manager and administrators do those links so that that information feeds onto your page. The other video that I really wanted to show you was the history of Rotary. And I thought that it would be, I'm sorry, back up. I'm in the wrong place on my script. I apologize. So we want to make sure that your club is participating in some way, shape, or form. Now, previous years, we've had End Polio Now events, usually in February. So I know that all of you have End Polio Now caps, End Polio Now t-shirts, and End Polio Now aprons. So you can use all three of those items, as well as you can order from the foundation for free, 50 pieces at a time. So you might have to have a couple club members order those, but you can get the End Polio Now brochures. They're absolutely beautiful, and they're great to use when you're actually going to have an event. But I encourage you the week of the 24th to really focus on polio. Would be great if you know someone who is either been a patient or been a victim of polio and recovered, or someone who's had perhaps maybe experienced that when they were in their youth, to actually talk at your club and talk about what happened. My mother talks about it. I had a cousin who was afflicted with polio. They lived in a small town of about 700 people. So probably about a dozen or more children died that year from polio. Lawrence was fortunate enough that his father brought in a chiropractor. And that chiropractor and his wife actually lived with them for several months and kept working on Lawrence. And he never had to go into an iron lung, nor did he ever have to have any paralysis from it that was debilitating or lasting. But I think a lot of it was because someone was constantly working on the muscles. Today, we still have folks here in the United States that live in iron lungs. In fact, John Germ talks about, in a recent social media posting, about an attorney in the southern states, out west, that actually lives and spends the evening, or most of the day, in an iron lung. And so what happens now is he can't find parts for an iron lung because they're no longer manufactured. So what he has to actually do is scour and keep folks looking for actual iron lungs that unfortunately are no longer in use, and basically pirate off the parts of that iron lung to keep the one going that he is actually using to stay alive. So this is a real threat to all of us. And then the actual polio aftermath. I have a friend here in Rotary, Betsy, and she is actually experiencing the polio syndrome. She had polio as a child, and now in her later years, she's actually experiencing some of that same paralysis. And they're working diligently to ensure that Betsy is able to walk and function still today. So it is certainly not over. In Nigeria, the World Health Organization responded to the outbreak there of a few cases so that we can make sure that we keep them in check. They were nearing the actual declaration of being polio-free, but the conditions there are very difficult to keep children clean and keep the polio virus down. And of course, immunizations continue to have to take place as long as polio is alive in our world. So I encourage you to look at www.endpolionow.com/World Polio Day so that you're able to get this toolkit and use it effectively to not only talk about polio, but publicize your club and the efforts that Rotary and the other partners, the National World Health Organization, the CDC, and many others that are helping us to end polio. We're going to go to break now, and we'll be right back, and we're going to talk a little bit about what is Rotary and what does it really mean to us.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
Young professionals and young people can find something in Rotary that makes so much sense for their existence.
One of my goals, and I think one of the goals of just younger people in general as we get into organizations like this, is to kind of diversify it.
There are a lot of people who have a lot to offer, but don't know an outlet for it, don't know where to put it, and this gives you access to everything.
I was just amazed at everything Rotary did and how much bigger than it was than what I thought it was, and so I wanted to join. I wanted to be a part of that.
You know, we laugh. It's a bunch of old guys that get together for lunch every week, and it's the furthest thing from that.
It's so much more than I originally thought it was. It wasn't just about making friends. It was about going out on a random Friday morning and helping to build a barn.
You know, we tend to be a little compartmentalized in our lives, and sometimes we forget people in our community who need help.
The face-to-face, the personal engagement with individuals and in the community is, you can't find that or replicate that elsewhere.
Whether we come from one walk of life or another, it transcends all of that because we come together in the name of service.
As a young professional, I just think it's one of the best things I could possibly have done.
Welcome back to my Rotary Show, doing good and having fun. I'm going to do this to James, but he's so good he's going to be able to catch it on the fly. I wanted to show you the last video from the previous segment, which is actually about an actual immunization day that was actually documented by a group that went over, I believe, to Pakistan. And it's about 5 minutes long, but I wanted to show you that because many people don't really know when we talk about immunizing against polio, I think they assume we're giving shots. That's not what we're doing. But this is a really beautiful video, and I thought it would be well worth the time for you to take a look at and actually experience National Immunization Day from afar. So if we can roll that video, James.
The vaccination campaigns that start this morning are vital. Everywhere and anywhere, polio remains a real threat to children because the virus travels and the risk of international spread remains.
L'objectif, c'est d'accéder à tous les enfants.
Our goal is to reach all the children, wherever they are.
Dans les gares routières,
in markets, in bus stations, in buses, at the border, in the schools, because we do not want to miss any child.
Tout compte.
Everything counts in the polio eradication campaign. The drops are important. The t-shirts are important. The hats are important. The posters are important. The motorcycles, the bikes, the immunization workers. Everything is essential. When I see a mother smiling after I've administered the vaccine to her child, it fills me with joy. Thank you, Rotary. Thank you to all its partners. Thank you to the traditional leaders and to the religious leaders. Thank you to the authorities of Côte d'Ivoire who understand what is at stake in our fight against polio.
Les enjeux majeurs de notre combat contre la polio.
So there's a great example of what a National Immunization Day is like. It's a simple thing. 2 drops in a child's mouth. That's it. Piece of cake. And then if you notice, they showed where they were actually coloring their pinky. That's where Purple Pinky Day came from. They use a purple marker because it seems to be the one that's easiest to see on the top of your fingernail. And that way they know that this child's been immunized. And it's permanent ink, so it does stay on a little longer than if you used something else. But I wanted to make sure you understood what it is. Now, they actually have immunization days that are taking place this month in October, and then we have another actual event that's going to happen in January. So if you're interested, you want to either give myself or District Governor Mike Chapman a call or an email, or Cindy Covington is our Zone 34 polio coordinator, and she was with us at District 6950 this weekend. Gave a beautiful presentation, which hopefully I'll get a copy and we'll be able to show that on a future show. But I started to talking to people as to, what really matters to you in Rotary. And, again and again, the 4-way test kept coming up, the things we think, say, and do. So I went and searched this weekend of an actual video, and there are actually several that talk about the 4-way test. So I was able to find this one that, again, would be very appropriate for you to show in your club. And it's a little animation, but also talks really about the heart and soul of Rotary, which is the four-way test. So let's take a look at that video.
In our everyday lives, we make decisions. The magnitude of our choices ranges from simple, everyday things to life-altering events. However, when this happens, sometimes we pause and ponder on whether or not what we decide to do is the right choice. The four-way test is a series of 4 questions designed to assist us in making better decisions in our lives and to consider the impact it will have on others. It guides us in what we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Truth is what is real, not what we think is real. It is sincerity in actions, character, and expression. When we apply it, we must decide whether it is honest to ourselves. Sometimes when we ask ourselves, what is the truth, instead of considering what is real or what is in front of us, we consider instead what we want to believe, what we think is real.
Is it fair to all concerned? Fairness is treating people in a way that does not favor some individuals over others. When we make decisions, they do not only impact us, but others as well. Our families, friends, peers, and people around us. We have to ask ourselves if what we are doing treats everybody equal.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? By making decisions in our everyday life, we connect ourselves to other people. By making good decisions, we can build lasting relationships with other individuals. Although we may not always become the best of friends with everybody we meet, our decisions can help influence how they treat us and likewise towards them.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Every decision we make will have repercussions. Although these effects may benefit ourselves, they may take away opportunities from others. We need to be able to balance this so that other individuals can benefit from what we decide to do. By ensuring our decisions benefit others as well, we can improve our relationships and create a more positive impact in our communities, locally, nationally, and globally. Not only will we benefit, but others will as well.
These are 4 great questions we can use to guide our decisions, but how can we apply them to our lives? Being in high school, we become more aware of the real world in which we leave the security of what we know and must decide what we want to do with our futures. Being so close to finishing school, both of us need to consider applying for universities. The trouble, however, comes with so many options and places to go, not only at home, but around the world as well. The question is, where do we start or where do we apply? This is where the 4-way test comes into play.
Is applying to university the truth? For me, I have to ask myself, is applying to university something I really want to do? Is it something others want me to do instead? Am I applying for the right reasons? Although it means another few years of schooling, tuition, and hard work, university is something I want to do. It will allow me to expand my knowledge of our world, which will aid me in making more informed decisions. It will also open more career paths in something I am passionate about.
Will applying to university be fair to all concerned? For me, there are universities that cater to my interests but are not necessarily in convenient locations. Some of these universities are in other countries overseas. Although they have programs which suit my passions for careers, will the choice of going to an overseas university affect my friends and family? For my family, tuition will be a large factor because of the cost of living and other fees. I will also be away from my friends and family here in Canada for long durations of time, barely being able to see them except for the holidays. Towards my friends and family, this isn't fair because of the cost and distance I will be from them.
Will it build goodwill and better friendships? By applying overseas, I will be in a new environment with new people and new opportunities. I won't be given the chance to go back to what I have known and must move forward with my decisions. By being submersed into a new culture, I will experience more of the world and become more globally aware of the people around me. I will also build new friendships with people I meet on campus, in the community, and everywhere around me.
Will applying to university be beneficial to all concerned? By enrolling into university, I will further my knowledge and be more capable of finding a career I enjoy and prosper. It will also benefit my family because I'll be able to support my parents and younger siblings for when they go to universities. For my parents, I will be able to support them when they are no longer able to support me. What about my friends? Even when I apply overseas or even in Canada, I can bring back the cultures I have experienced and share with them what I've learned from my time in a different location. By doing so, I can help them think on a more global level and become more globally active.
By applying the four-way test to our daily lives, we can fully determine the impact our decisions will have not only on us, but others as well. Through this, we can use the test as a guide to better our decisions and relationships. As Khalil Gibbon says, truth is a deep kindness that teaches us to be content in our everyday life and share with people the same happiness.
So there you go, a different view on the four-way test. Now, obviously more applicable perhaps to a rotaractor or interactor, but my question would be, do you know where the four-way test hangs today other than in a Rotary Club? If you were to go in any of the employee break rooms in Walgreens across the world, you would see the four-way test hanging on the wall just before you exit into the retail area of Walgreens. Why is that so? Well, the founder of Walgreens was actually the person who wrote the four-way test. He believed in it so much that it wasn't just a part of who he was, it was a part of what his company stood for and how they trained their employees. If you go into Walgreens today, I would encourage you to ask an employee if they know what the four-way test is. We're going to take a break now a little bit earlier than normal. And when we come back, we're actually going to hear from an essay contestant winner of the essay contest that was held just about a year or so ago on the four-way test. But we'll look at these commercials first.
Hello, I'm Isabelle Fontana. You may know me from the world of fashion, but I'm also a polio ambassador for Rotary International.
I have decided to participate in this campaign because I am a mother and I'm very conscious about our future.
नाम क्या है? What is your name? Isabelle. अपना नाम बताओ. She's training with the song.
Well, I vaccinated a lot of children, and that for me was I felt it was the most important experience of my life, actually.
We're this close to making history. This close to changing the world.
So as promised, each year many districts have essay contests. They pick a particular subject in Rotary, and that's what's given to the children. Usually most of them are juniors or seniors in college, in high school rather, And they are to prepare somewhere between a 2 to 3 minute essay on that subject. This particular year, the subject was the four-way test. Now, this young man is a junior at Tennessee, and he is the contestant winner of their actual district conference essay contest. And I believe it's District 7680. So we're going to show you his speech, which I thought was very heartwarming. You got to love kids. They just tell you how it is. So go ahead and take a look at this.
Hello, my name is Aaron Woody, and over the past summer I attended the Washington Journalism and Media Conference in Washington, D.C. I had a fantastic time, met some incredible people, and learned a lot about leadership as well as journalism. But what really got my attention was how well everything we were taught that week went along perfectly with the Rotary four-way test I was privileged to learn last year. The first step of the four-way test, is it the truth, was the main point that was stressed to us throughout the entire week. We had speakers come every single day, and every single one of those speakers talked about how important it was to be truthful in what we say, in what we report, and in what we write. But they also gave us a warning about a little persuasive technique called card stacking. Card stacking is taking all the good facts, or all the bad facts, and only presenting one side of the story, and not bothering to tell the other side. Card stacking brings us to the second step of the four-way test. Is it fair to all concerned? What do you think? Do you think it's fair to tell only one side of a story and not bother to tell the other side? Hopefully not. Throughout the week, we learned that the person in charge has a lot to do with just how fairly things are presented. I found this out when we did a group activity. We were split into teams and told to present a news report about a topic we were given. Well, I stepped up and I told the way I wanted to present the topic, but the person in charge wanted to present it in an entirely different way than I did. And in the end, they got their way, and that's how we presented it. But after the activity, our counselor talked to us about that. He said that in order to become good leaders, we had to learn to listen to everybody's point of view. And when we present our final decision, try and be as unbiased as possible. But the person in charge doesn't have quite as much power as they used to, thanks to something that is sweeping our world, and that something is called social media. Social media is something we've all heard of. You know, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Yes, there are literally millions of people out there who are constantly tweeting and updating and sharing and posting about what's happening live. The local 6 o'clock news can't use card stacking and expect you to believe everything they say, hook, line, and sinker anymore, because there are so many people out there who actually know the truth and found out about it as it was happening live. Social media was pushed so much at this conference, it was actually the main point behind the third step of the four-way test. Will it build goodwill and better friendships? I told you I met some incredible people, and some of those people are now some of my best friends. But the person at the top of that list is Haley. And Haley recently went on a 6-month foreign exchange trip across the ocean to Wales in the United Kingdom. I would be on Facebook with her religiously trying to find out what life was like in the United Kingdom. And I would get completely giddy when she would post new pictures so I could see it for myself. It just made it so much more real. And finally, the fourth step of the four-way test. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? I told you how it benefited me, how I learned to assess the truthfulness of the media, how the person in charge has a lot to do with fairness, how social media is changing our world, and the wonderful friendships I made along the way. But that was just me. There were over 200 students at this conference, and each and every one of them took away something different. Some came in knowing they wanted a career in journalism, and meeting people like Hoda from the Today Show or Pulitzer Prize winner Carol Guzzi just increased their fervor to go out and go after their career in journalism. Other people, they just wanted a week out of the house. But by the end of the week, some of them were saying, wow, I really think I like journalism. I think it's something I'd be good at doing. And now they are going after their careers in journalism. And so, in conclusion, the Rotary four-way test has proved itself once again that it can be used for everything, from the journalism methods of yesterday, to the leaders of today, to the Facebook posts of tomorrow. Thank you.
I apologize to my friends in 6780, not 7680. But wasn't Aaron refreshing? Couple major points that he made. Social media. Talked about social media and how it's really helped to kind of create those checks and balances in our world, which I couldn't agree with him more. We can watch more live things on social media than ever before. So it's difficult for anyone to slant anything to their own agenda, which I think is quite honestly refreshing. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about was District University 6950, which took place at Marchman Technological College right here in Newport Richey. And I think we have a picture of the entrance of the college. There we are. They actually had welcoming us. Now, of course, we have a little in there with Principal Rob Aegis, who is the president-elect of the Rotary Club of Port Richey, just to the north of us here. Absolutely wonderful facility. I can't rave about Rob, his staff, Mark, the IT guy, as well as Chef Wells and his entire team, including Mommy Aegis. Rob's mom is actually there working with the chef and the students. That we were treated to a beautiful breakfast as well as lunch, followed by dessert. They couldn't have done more to accommodate our needs while we were there. At any given time, we had anywhere from 6 to 10 classrooms full of Rotarians taking classes. Those classes were actually divided into basically 4 different pillars. One was membership, foundation, public image, and then general studies, which included the avenues of service, as well as the DAC-DB, a full day of training. So for those that were not perhaps real familiar or savvy with how to use the DAC, anyone that attended those classes certainly was by the end of it. We had complete Wi-Fi throughout the campus, which was beautiful. Not only were the instructors able to use Wi-Fi and get on Rotary.org or other services that they were able to use as presenting to the class, but the class was able to actually get on and touch and feel everything. So we encourage people to bring their laptops, tablets, or use their smartphone to actually get online. We had a total of 180 attendees at the event, which is probably one of the largest fall training events that we've ever done here in the district. We collected over 9 cases of school supplies, which graciously James Holloman is taking back down to Pinellas, and those will be distributed out to the needy children in Pinellas County. And we raised over $2,560 for the cause against ending polio. We did that by auctioning, or actually having a drawing first, for a 55-inch television, which Mike Fitzgerald, our polio coordinator for our district, made arrangements for. It just so happens that his wife, Sandra, was the ticket that District Governor Mike pulled out. So what did Sandra do? She was a lady and said, let's auction it off. So what we did then was auction off the television, getting an additional $375, which when the gentleman took it out to his car, he said, quote, I'm giving it to my Rotary Club so they can auction it off at our fundraiser. So that 55-inch television set is going to probably make somewhere in excess of $20,000 with all the matching going on to end polio. Great idea. Good job, Mike Fitzgerald and your team. It was really, really heartfelt from everyone. So I wanted to show you some pictures. First off, I was given a doctorate that day. I was Dr. Mick, Doctor of Rotary, and thank you to Carrie Root, who loaned me her actual doctorate gown and everything there. It was really quite cool. I have a sister who is a medical doctor, so now, Dee, watch out, because you're not the only doctor in the family. Then we actually had the Dean of Membership, which was Eric Johnson. Somehow we did not get a picture of that, but here's a picture of the pros from Dover. You got District Governor Mike Chapman, our Zone 34 Coordinator Art McQueen, our Zone 34 Assistant Membership Coordinator George Burnett, and then our polio coordinator Cindy Covington, and then myself, who was actually a Zone 34 Assistant Public Image Coordinator this year. Have been for the last 3 years and thoroughly enjoyed working with the three of them. They are truly a bright, sunshiny star in Zone 34. All three of them are, and they brought a lot to the table. They did some phenomenal presentations on membership, as well as Cindy did a very beautiful presentation at lunch in regards to polio and showed about one of the immunization days she's actually gone on. And it was very heartfelt. She told a lot of the stories about what she witnessed and the vast needs of the countries that she's visited beyond just immunizing children against polio. But I wanted to make sure that you all know we will do this again. District Governor-elect Perry Bean is actually committed to doing it again, as well as District Governor nominee Eloy Nunez has committed to doing it again. So you will have other opportunities. And Marchman Rob and his team have said we are more than welcome again next fall. So we will be there. But I wanted to show you a photograph of Jared Brown, who is the Dean of Foundation, and his staff. Those are all the people that presented. Very, very hardworking crew, let me tell you. They really earned their money, their pay on Saturday, because they were working pretty darn hard. And then the Public Image Dean, Takoa Bean, and Marilyn, myself, and Perry were on that team. And I think we have a picture. Yep, there's all of us. Some of us still had our robes on. Eloy still had his on, which I was glad to see that. And then the last photograph is Eloy and his team, which again, a vast team. This is the PR, public image team right here. And then I think we have one more, James, that shows Eloy and his team. There we go. Big group of people as well that were doing everything from a Rotaract Summit to talking about Rotary Camp Florida, talking about community service, vocational service, and club service, and youth services. And it was really a great experience. I heard nothing but positive. I really honestly never heard anything negative about the day. Everything was wonderful. And we look forward to doing that again very soon in the fall. We're going to go to break right now, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit about what's happening in the district.
Enjoy tranquil seclusion in an eco-lover's paradise. Paddling through the mangroves where the only sounds you'll hear are the sounds of nature. Because you deserve to relax on vacation, visit Pasco County, Florida.
opportunity to making history.
This close to changing the world.
We're this close.
This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease.
Ever again. This close.
We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio. All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
Well, welcome back to my Rotary Show, doing good and having fun. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the district conference and the international conference coming up in June. I realize June's a long ways away. It seems like it's months away, but before you know it, it's going to be here. It's really important for you to take a moment and do your registration for both of these. The district conference is going to take place just days before the international conference in Atlanta, Georgia. So on Thursday, June 8th, we're going to get together at the Tampa International Marriott, which is right there at the airport. And the Tampa International Marriott is a beautiful facility. A group of us went over there to view it, and I have to tell you that I didn't think it would be so nice inside because it was at the airport, but it's absolutely gorgeous. So on Thursday, registration will open up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then about 6 o'clock in the afternoon, we're going to have dinner served. Now you have two choices with dinner. You can eat outside on their little veranda that they have there. It is covered from the sun by the building. The shade of the building actually creates a really nice environment there. Or there actually will be inside seating as well in the dining room. This is a picture of the actual ballroom where we'll have the Governor's Gala, which will be on Friday evening. And this will be a true gala. This is where you're going to get all gussied up. There will be a live band. There might be a district governor, past district governor and her partner being performing there for you. So you can all see some dancing, and then you'll be able to dance yourself. The idea is that particular evening will just be the large awards that we give out. The club awards and individual awards will be given out during lunch that day or breakfast that day as well. So then on Friday morning, I apologize, on Thursday evening, the Sauce Boss is coming. Now, who is the Sauce Boss? Well, the Sauce Boss is a gentleman from Jacksonville, Florida, who is actually kind of a Cajun singer. He does a lot of songs about, yeah, that's great, a lot of songs about Florida, gators. It's really quite interesting, his music, but it's also a lot of fun. And the great thing is that he cooks gumbo while he's performing. And then he's going to serve the gumbo to us, but normally he serves the gumbo to the homeless. So his entire, all of his benefits that he does actually benefit the homeless in the areas in which he's performing. He will be here in Pinellas County in February. That is actually posted on the DAC DB if you'd like to go and see him play. Or look on Facebook because Becky Bennett is really good about posting what we call Sauce Boss sightings, SSS. So you take a look at those as well if you want to preview that. So then on Friday, we will do the normal. We'll have a grand opening session, general session in the morning. Then we'll split up into some classrooms, come together at lunchtime where I believe we have an outstanding speaker that is well worth taking the day off to come and see her. And she is a local celebrity as well. And then we'll have the afternoon is pretty much free for you. They have a beautiful pool area, and obviously it's June, so it'll be certainly appropriate to be swimming in the pool, or you can go over and have a couple beers over at the Hard Rock, which will be open at the airport by that time as well. And then on Saturday evening, again, the Governor's Gala. Again, getting all gussied up, live music, and we will give out a few awards, but it will not be overwhelming. You'll not be sitting there for hours having awards handed out, but rather be very quick, very elegant, and then we're off to have the fun part of doing good and having fun. The district conference is really about celebrating the year. So as a club president, it's certainly important for you to be there as your club may be recognized or yourself. And it's also a great time to fellowship with other people within the district. It's an opportunity for us to kick our heels up, have a little fun, and enjoy each other's company. On Saturday will be our travel day. There will be buses arranged. You can either purchase and register for bus ride from Tampa International up to Atlanta, Georgia, to the DoubleTree, which is the district hotel for our district. And we have about 256 people who have already registered and have rooms there. So if you're registering at this point, you must register online with Rotary International. Pick that DoubleTree as your primary hotel, but you have to pick 3 because they'll put you where they can put you. But pick that one as your first one. They do know that we are trying to have everyone from our district stay in the DoubleTree. If you don't want to take the bus, there also is arrangements being made for us to get some plane tickets as well, so you'll be able to register for those shortly. Or you can hop in your car and take I don't even think it's an 8-hour drive up to Atlanta. That's what Rod and I will be doing. Afterwards, we'll be traveling out to a friend's from high school that will actually be visiting that built a home on the lake. So we'll be there on Saturday evening. Saturday evening is kind of our wrap-up. We'll have a cocktail party there at the DoubleTree. And then the next morning is the flag ceremony and the opening of the international conference. If you've never been to an international conference with Rotary, this is your opportunity. It's close. It's going to be much more inexpensive. And it is the 100th year anniversary of the Rotary Foundation, which is pivotal to all of us in Rotary, as that is our charity of choice, obviously. So on Monday, they'll have the actual House of Friendship will open. Now, anyone that's ever been to a House of Friendship, hands down, the International Conference House of Friendship, nobody can touch it, let me tell you. Many people ask me where I get some of the pins that I have, some of the bling, as the girls call it. I usually get those at an international conference or assembly because they have some vendors from across the pond that bring some different items that are absolutely gorgeous. Then there are several breakout sessions. I'm sure that Jennifer Jones will be giving some public image seminars. She's fabulous. You can tell I'm a huge fan of Jennifer's. There will be obviously a president-elect's luncheon. You need to register for that. There is a cost to that. Wherever there's a meal, there's a cost. The Southland group, which is our district, District 34 and 33, we will have an event. It will either be on Tuesday or Wednesday, but probably more than likely it'll be on Tuesday. It'll be a breakfast or a cocktail party where it's just us, just our zones, which makes it really nice because, again, you get to see faces and familiarize yourself with the leadership of our zones. The major dinner recognition will be that Tuesday evening, and the Arch Clump Society dinner will be that evening as well. On Wednesday, again, more general sessions. The Foundation 100th birthday will be held at 1300 hours, which is 1 o'clock for us. And they have not decided on a location. The original location sold out in pre-registration. So they clearly underestimated the number of people that would want to attend that. So they are looking at a larger venue. I've heard that they're trying to get a stadium right there in downtown Atlanta. We're not sure whether or not the Braves are playing in town that week, so it will all depend on that schedule. And then there will be additional breakout sessions and then the closing ceremony. Now, someone said, oh, I don't go to the big general preliminary sessions or general sessions. They're just too large and you can't see. I have to tell you that that has not been my experience in the 2 international conferences that I've attended in Lisbon as well as in New Orleans. The actual entertainment is much like you might find on Broadway or other large venues. It's absolutely outstanding. I would not be surprised to see some local, international music talent from the Atlanta area, hint, hint, wink, wink, that will probably be performing at our international conference. As well as there's always the chance that Bill and Melinda Gates will be there and other celebrities that have partnered with us in the fight against ending polio. So I'd encourage you to do that. As it gets later in the year and closer to the date, the registration cost will continue to rise. So it's important, if you have not already registered and gotten your hotel rooms, that you do that now. I certainly would not wait any longer than the 1st of November because I think by then they're going to have another bump in the actual increase of the cost to going to the Atlanta conference. Will it ever be in Florida? We can only hope that it will be. But if it is, it will be several years from now. So don't miss out on this opportunity, not only in our local district conference, but also in our Atlanta conference. So I look forward to seeing you there. Register now, you guys. Now let's talk a little bit about what some of the clubs are doing in the district. The Seminole Lakes Club is doing a project in Belize called Belize Hope. And they're actually looking for anyone who'd like to go down and be part of the sweat labor, or any club that would like to continue to partner in the grant. They're always looking for additional partners. Make sure that you look that information up on the DAC. They estimate that the round-trip ticket for the airfare is only about $500. So it is pretty inexpensive event to get involved in. Now, the Brooksville Club is doing a dinner that is actually sponsoring the youth shelter up there. That's on October 11th. So if you're interested in that, contact anybody from the Brooksville Club, or again, go on the DAC-DB and you can actually register right there online. Now, those of us that are past district governors, or as I call it, in the G string, that means the governor nominee, who will soon be selected, as well as the governor-elect, the governor nominee, and our current governor, will all be up at Zone 33-34 Institute and what we call GETS. What does GETS stand for? It stands for Governor-Elect Training Session. So any governor that's in line will actually have their training. It's one of the pivotal trainings that is done. And then on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, us old-timers go up and do some fellowship, listen to some outstanding speakers. I understand one of my classmates will be there and speaking. She is one of the 11 women that the original lawsuit with that was heard by the Supreme Court in the fight against allowing women into Rotary. And I apologize, my throat is acting up. So then after that, and we'll be up there basically the 16th of October is when it ends, and most of us will be up there by the 11th of October. And then the annual Rattlesnake Festival, the 50th annual Rattlesnake Festival, that is put together, and all the volunteers are through the San Antonio Club. We had Betty and her group on here a few weeks ago, so you can always go back and look at that show. That's a great opportunity. And then at the end of the month, there are two fabulous galas coming on, and unfortunately, I'm only able to be in one place at a time. But the Frankenstein Frenzy Masquerade Ball is being held on Saturday the 29th at Safety Harbor, at the Safety Harbor, by the Safety Harbor Club, I apologize. And I believe it is actually at the Safety Harbor Spa. And they will have a dinner, live auction, all of those types of things. There's the flyer. Thanks, James. And then the other big one that's coming up for us here in West Pasco is the Trinity Gala, which is typically at the end of September. But this year, due to Heritage Springs being renovated, they actually had to have it over at the Spartan Manor, which is a little bigger facility. So oftentimes they run out of tickets and they sell out, but they haven't yet. It's $250 a couple, and I would encourage you. The theme for that one is Carnival, which means it will be quite interesting to see how everyone dresses for that. I was doing a little research myself. But the Trinity Club, all of the proceeds for that go to children's groups here in the West Pasco, Pasco County area. So I would encourage you to take a look at the DAC-DB. There's certainly a lot of things to get involved with, a lot of happenings in the district. It is the busiest time of the year, now until probably about March or April. So encourage you to get on the DAC and see how you can get out there and have some fun and do some good. Also, I hope that you're enjoying Mikey's Monday message that we all get emailed to us. I always enjoy seeing that, and I think it's a great addition to communication here in the district, and he's doing an excellent job. If you're interested in being on the Rotary Show, all you need to do is email me at myrotaryshow@gmail.com, and we'll schedule a date for you to come on. It doesn't just have to be your club, although that's really the purpose of the whole show, is to highlight the clubs. But also, if you have any of the exchange students in your club, or any particular event that you're doing, or a project that you're doing that you'd like to really have highlighted and do some segments on, we'd be very interested in doing that as well. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's show. Remember, go out and do some good, but also make sure that you're having fun. Until next week, this is Jamie Mick for my Rotary Show, Doing Good and Having Fun.